She's marrying her on and off boyfriend of 8 years who still doesn't have a steady job and is juggling school part-time. Withhold judgment. We listen, we don't judge. Hello, I'm Daisy. Welcome back to Yep What? This is a series where we yap. Today, we have the age-old question. Are your 20s really the best years of your life? And here to help us answer that, it's Edo.
Hello.
Okay, Edo, are your 20s the best years of your life?
I hope not.
I hope not. I'm 26. You're 28.
I'm 27.
You're 27? Oh, girl, time to get Botox. Let's go to teenage you versus you now.
Oh my God.
When I think back on who I was as a
so
teenager, I've literally blacked out so many of my teenage years because I was
think so
such...
too. Oh my God.
Only bad words can describe what I was like in my teen years. Like, you feel so much and you're going through so much and it's like you're figuring so much out. Oh my God, it was awful.
I really see how my brain wasn't fully formed. Like, I think back and I'm like, was I even conscious?
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Okay, deep down, I always knew I wanted to do something in the general world of like entertainment. Then I think like that's not possible. Like, that can't happen for me. So it shifted to like journalism and like politics. Then I did like political science in uni. It's so funny. Like, I was 19 thinking I was going to do something so much more serious than now, where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be a TikToker. Like, you know what I mean?
It took me so long to call myself a content creator, even though I had like tens of thousands of followers and I was getting money and like this was a job. Now that I'm in my mid-20s, I truly realize everyone is just faking it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 100%. But there definitely is this like expectation to be like somewhere in society at a certain age. And I feel like that's why we're all performing, because we're all performing to those expectations of us. People in these high positions doing all these serious things, like how often do they think, I don't know what I'm doing. I've convinced everyone I can do it. Somehow it's working. I'm just going to keep going. Why not we all just accept the fact that we're all figuring it out?
Now I feel like I see people who don't know what they want in life, but they want to act like they have it all together, and they're like trying to like go through life checking off the boxes, and they get into like marriages and have children. And I'm like, do you even want this? And I'm convinced some of them like don't deep down want this, but they just fit in and like do the whole like thing that society expects you to do. And like, oh my God, some people are just throwing their life away. Call me out. What am I saying?
I mean, I don't think if you get married, you're throwing your life away. I think that's personal.
No, you can want marriage and kids. It's amazing and beautiful, but you can also only be doing it because you feel like you have to, and that's when I think it's wrong.
I do agree with you, but it is a hot take. I remember being in primary school. I went to local school in Singapore. When you're 12, you do this state exam. All my teachers made it seem like where you go in secondary school is going to shape who you become. And if you don't pass these exams, it's over for you.
Oh my God, yeah. That period when I was waiting for my exam results, I thought was like, I was waiting to find out if my life would continue or not, you know? Like,
so
I was like,
real.
If I fail, I will be a hobo on the street, you know? Like, I didn't even end up I did end up going for a degree at a really good university, actually. Did I ever end up using that? Like, no, as in a little bit, but now I'm like not doing anything related to that.
100%.
So if I could just go back and tell my like school self, like, you're not even gonna end up doing all of this. Like, it's great, do it, but.
What is like one thing about adulting that you hate?
It's the idea of like, I need to also think about what's going to happen to me in like 20, 30 years.
Dude.
Like all these things about like savings and
The
insurance.
way I envision my future and I see myself as a 26-year-old. Like, I don't see my future.
Yes, same.
So
I'm like,
therefore I'm
not
not
going to
like...
be 27 forever. What are you talking about? Retirement. Yeah, I'm like, what am I doing next? What are we doing Euro summer next year?
But I think this goes back to those societal expectations also of like where you should be in your 20s. How much money should you have saved?
16-year-old me thought that I only had pretty much till like 28 to like make it in life.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it's so different now. We realize like how much more time we have though as well. I'm like, I don't just automatically like get old and die when I'm 30. There's so many things I can still do after that, and like I can completely change my
being
career.
30 was like it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. You're like old after that.
Yeah.
Okay, if there is one thing you could learn in school that could have prepared you for adulthood, what would you have wanted to learn? You want to know what mine is?
Yeah.
Medical checkups. Like what they are and when they need to be, especially as a woman.
I think for me, it's life admin. When you do paperwork for what, and like, insurance. Like, I didn't learn anything about insurance in school. Like, I didn't know what that was. Oh my God. We all, I think, did some kinds of economics in school, right? But how many of us actually learned about like personal savings or how like basic investing works?
What's a credit score? Oh my God, credit
Credit
scores.
cards.
Credit
no one talking about credit cards or credit scores.
Yeah, schools, listen up. Who's our Minister of Education? Tag him in the comments. Let's go through some of the submissions for this episode. The first one, everyone has it together except me.
Oh.
I just turned 25 and I feel like I've hit a wall in life. My friends are all moving forward, getting promoted, getting engaged, or starting their own businesses. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in an entry-level job I hate and have no idea what I want to do long term. It feels like everyone has their life together except me. I tried talking to my parents about it, but they just said, you're young, you have time. But it doesn't feel that way when you're waking up every day dreading work and feeling like you're running out of time to figure it all out. How do you stop feeling like you're falling behind?
I think they should stop focusing so much on like what everyone else is doing, but instead it should be like, what do they want and are they achieving that, regardless of what other people are doing.
Well, they said they don't know what they want.
You're dumb.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding.
Okay, you know what? You're not gonna answer any more of these.
Gets escorted out of the studio.
It's okay to take time to figure out what you want to do. It's okay that you're at an entry-level job at this age. You show up on time for your own life. That's what I like to say. And everyone's clocks are different.
Where this person's coming from is being like, oh, I don't have a clear direction in any of these things and therefore I'm failing. Actually, a sense of adventure is so, if you can lean into that sense of like, I don't know what's happening, it can be fun, it can be exciting. Like, you may not have everything figured out now, but that makes life worth living because it's like you have so much to do, so much to achieve, so many places to go. Before I was like, oh, everything has to be like this goal and then that goal. And then now I'm like, there's no more like linear path. And I've learned to just lean into it. And I'm like, oh, life is actually really fun this way. Because now I'm like, I don't know what I'll be doing next year, but that can also be nice to have that.
Next one. Getting married because of FOMO.
I called it.
When my best friend told me she was getting married, I should have been happy for her. Instead, all I felt was a sinking pit in my stomach. She's marrying her on and off boyfriend of 8 years who still doesn't have a steady job and is juggling school part-time. Withhold judgment.
We listen, we don't judge.
We listen, we don't judge. Neither of them is financially stable. And yet here we are, talking about dress fittings and venue hunting. I can't help but feel like she's doing this because of FOMO, since everyone in our circle seems to be settling down. She talks more about color schemes and floral arrangements than how they'll handle bills or disagreements. I love her and I want the best for her, but I feel like she just wants a wedding and not the marriage life. Should I stop this wedding before it's too late? Oh my god, I love that dramatic question.
I love that she's like, should I stop this
Speak
wedding?
now or forever hold your peace. She's like, all right, I've got
Yes.
things to say, girl. I would never recommend somebody getting married if you haven't talked about finances. And I agree with the person who submitted this, like the friend is using the wedding as a way to mask like the issues in the relationship where it's like, oh, I'm gonna have my life together now because we're getting married, but actually
Nothing's changed.
like nothing's going to change. I feel like you have to be prepared that bringing this up will potentially ruin the friendship.
Because if they've already are they already planning a wedding,
Well,
you're
listen to
basically
all that.
questioning like their existence at this point.
Oh man, that's so
You know what
tough.
I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say that she shouldn't say anything, or he, because
God.
I do believe that like at a certain point in adulthood, like people will only see what they want to see, and it sounds like this person has chosen
You know what?
not to see all
Yeah.
these flaws. And honestly, the friend bringing it up at this point will just create more commotion than anything.
Oh my god, you know what? That's so right.
Sometimes people need to make mistakes to learn.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if I'm ever in that kind of relationship, Daisy, please tell me. Please.
And then you're gonna turn around and
I-
be like, you're crazy. And then I'm gonna send you this episode and you're gonna leave this clip in and I'm gonna be like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why we're single, so we don't have to deal with that. Woo! And on that note, thank you for joining us for this episode of Yep, What? Thanks for talking about how navigating your 20s has been. And I can't wait to come back in 10 years so we can talk about our 30s and how that compares to our 20s. Bye,
See you
everyone.
guys.
Don't forget to
Bye.
like, comment, and subscribe.
If you're a 16-year-old out there, yes, it gets better, like 100%.
Oh, it gets better.